Students, today we're going to talk about comparing amounts. So comparing is when we look at two things and we see how are they different, how are they the same, and we look at the information. So in this lesson, we're going to start by comparing information that's on this graph. Now I put all of the information on a graph so that it would be really easy to see the information. So you can see that this graph is labeled favorite season. And what I did was I went and I asked different students, do you like winter or summer more? And for every student that answered winter, I put a snowflake on the graph. For every student that answered summer, I put a little sunshine on the graph. So I can see how many students chose summer. 1, 2, 3. 3 students chose summer. How many students chose winter? Well, I just count the snowflakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when it's on a graph, when you have your information on a graph, it's a lot easier to see the information and to find different pieces of information. So for example, what if I asked you, did more students choose winter or summer? Well, we have all of the information lined up on this graph. So let's go ahead and make some partners. One kid chose winter, one kid chose summer. One kid chose winter, one kid chose summer. One kid chose winter, one kid chose summer. One kid chose winter. Oh, there's no more summers left. So we have more snowflakes than sunshines. And remember, these snowflakes stand for different students who chose winter. So we have more students that chose winter than the students who chose summer. So more students chose winter. Now, how many more students chose winter? Well, to find that answer, it's actually pretty easy. All we have to do is count these leftover snowflakes. 1, 2. So we know 2 more kids chose winter than summer. So let's look at another graph. This graph is about favorite shapes. You can see that in the title it says favorite shapes. And then in this graph what I did was I went and I asked the students, do you like circles or squares more? And you can see that 1, 2, 3 students chose circles, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students chose squares. So again, I want to know, did more students choose circles or squares? Well, let's go ahead and draw our lines. 1 student chose circle, 1 student chose square. 1 student chose circle, 1 student chose square. 1 student chose circle, 1 student chose square. Oh, no more students chose circles, but we did have more students still choosing squares. So that means more students chose squares than circles. Because we ran out of circles, we still have leftover squares. So more students chose squares. How many less students chose circles? How can we find that answer? We don't have any more circles. Well, we actually find it the same way. We just count the leftover. So we have some leftover squares. We count how many are left over. 1, 2. So that means 2 less students chose circles because we had 2 leftover squares. More students chose the squares. So 2 less students chose circles than squares. So when you have all of your information in a graph like this, it makes it really easy to compare the 2 amounts. We compared the amount of students who chose circles to the amount of students who chose squares. So on your problems, you'll be given a graph like this, so you can see all of the information organized, and then you'll be asked to find a piece of information from that graph. Like, did more students choose circles or squares? Or how many more students chose winter than summer? And using this graph, the graph that you're given in your problem, you can find the answer and then enter it.